Thank you very much, Mr. Papagannides. I know have known you for a while, and it's true that what you have to say is always to the point. Let me say on my behalf that I'm very happy because today we are dealing with an anniversary. A year ago, from this very podium, we set off on a journey, the journey of just transition. And at the time, the legal expert committee had undertaken the gigantic task of putting in order a disorderly fashion that had lasted for decades. Let me explain what I'm talking about. A year ago, looking at the goals of the final Energy and Climate National Plan, we set forth a framework that would allow for all lignite fuel power plants to be shut down by 2028. It was something that was under the framework of the European Green Deal. Of course, just development transition, as we are used of calling it in Greece, goes beyond energy. It touches on development as a whole. So it's not just about transition of energy, but a transition into a model of viable and sustainable development, and just development, of course. And trying to speed through things because we're out of time, I would like to say that these initiatives target primarily the Western Macedonia regions, Megalopoli region, and they are also part of an effort that can change not just Greece, but the entire world. So we've got this contemporary Parthenon, or the National Master Plan for Just Development Transition, that is based on 5 pillars that takes a lot out of the traditional power production, and this is how we picture, for example, Western Macedonia, a large part going into smart plants and parks for production of energy, clean energy. Megalopoli also, we're visioning farming and breeding holdings that will provide in a green way exportable products, and this all needs a new and powerful, robust system of governance. And that was the main challenge here. We needed to set up a brand new governance system that would take away the fragmented image of what we see today. So we've based just transition within the framework of a government committee. Already schematically we have drafted it up. And at this point, I would like to say that we are bringing together both national and EU funds, financing, hoping to achieve an optimal and maximized result. The president, the chairperson of the coordinating committee is Mr. Moursoulis, a coordinating committee for the Just Transition, the Just Development Transition, that is, committee. We also have the legal experts committee for the Just Transition Development Plan. We had a very short period of time, a few months, and we managed, however, to create a draft, a bill of law for just transition, which is going to be publicized and opened up for a public consultation today. So you'll all have a chance to look at it and tell us what you think, contribute. We've worked a lot about that. I don't want to go into details, but we're focusing on a series of on having a new classification of projects under the title of and category of just development transition projects. So they're going to be what we call the THUM projects. We also have the Special Authority for Just Development Transition, and this is something that will be accessible to all citizens who are interested in participating in these endeavors. And we also have Associating Anonyma, which is going to be Metavasi AESA, and this is all something that's going to look at the real estate. We're talking about 250,000 strema, and just to tell you a bit, to make you understand what we're talking about, it's the biggest development project that has that is now commenced in Greece following the Second World War. The development target objective of this project, of course, is green. The pillars of our policy, as I said before, are entrepreneurship, research, innovation, energy, restoration of the environment, digitalization, and life and well-being. This is the pyramid of our financing sources. Here you see a pie chart with respect to the contribution within the program of the various financing instruments, how they contribute. Now, as regards incentives, we are providing incentives not just for maintaining the current productive operation, but primarily for attracting new productive operations. And this includes private sector, the public sector, and PPPs. And of course, it all falls under the framework, the political competence and responsibility of the Minister of Development, Mr. Papagannides. We've got financing instruments, fiscal instruments, licensing instruments, and we're trying to create as positively as we can, a state within a state. We want to create something that will allow us to speed up the drafting and implementation of all investments targeted. We're calling those investments VAM, meaning Just Development Transition Investments. These are incentives that need to be taken into consideration, the ones you see on the slide. And of course, there's a very distinct status quo that has to do with the development law, which is currently being drafted. Strategic investments, we're talking about drawing from the state budget in order to speed up procedures and innovation by 25%. We're trying to deal with the primary sector, and these are people that are not now becoming unemployed, but they have been unemployed for a long time, for years, and we're trying to alleviate this disruption. We're in the eye of the storm and we're trying to salvage whatever can be salvaged. We're in excellent cooperation with the Public Power Corporation, because it's when we're talking about the agricultural sector here, we're talking about the production of power. And another element which is very important is that we have an increase in the percentage of state financing, state grants, by 10% throughout the regions targeted. And of course, as I said before, we're not just talking about delignitizing the power plants, but we're also talking about moving beyond that and providing a sound and green power grid to the Aegean Islands and Crete. We have different zoning. I don't know if you understand what I'm showing you here. ZAP is the agricultural zone at Kozani, Florina, Megalopoli. The nuclei here, the core plants, are the power plants we're working on lignite right now. We're trying to go for a transition that will allow for 150,000 strema to be freed up for agricultural use. This is a huge advantage, a huge result, and they can be poles of attraction for agricultural investments. In closing, let me show you how things stand today. What is the current state of play? You say that we're talking about territories, about land that is fully destroyed based on our new plans and which have been approved by the PPC, the Public Power Corporation Board of Administration. We will have a new use of the land utilized so far by the plant. You see here we're talking about huge territories, 5,000 streme, 3,000 streme here. So of course, we're looking for the collaboration with local players, and I'm using my stance on this podium to reach out to everyone and ask all local players to come and talk with us. And of course, the consultation is going to be another platform for discussion. Right now, there is an open call for investors' proposals by the task force within Enterprise Greece. We have the sites mentioned on the slide. This entire presentation is at your disposal, thanks to the very hospitable AgriBusiness Forum, and thank you to the organizing committee. I think that today, yes, signals the end of one stage and the beginning of another. This is our target. This is a lignite plant, lignite-fueled plant in Soweto, in Johannesburg, that was used to meet the power needs of the white inhabited regions or areas of Johannesburg, and it is now an area for artistic exhibitions and shows. This is what we're looking forward to. Greece that is looking ahead, that is capitalizing on opportunities, and using our legal expertise, we are here at your disposal to make this vision a reality. Thank you very much.